Pilates with Ann again. Miss you guys so much. Again, I'm Ann and I work at the Wellness Center here in Harrisonburg, Virginia, and work with many of you. I will be sending a link out to you guys when I get this finished. Anyways, another day of this pandemic and just trying to find ways to stay active and mobile, and just want to bring another Pilates class to you. Just a little refresher for the week. Hopefully you can use this weekend or this coming week as you continue to just need stretching and movement in your life. Yeah, I've been staying busy with my husband working at our church and need this today, definitely. Not used to some of the manual labor that he does on a normal basis. So this is really good for me. Hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. I know the numbers are going up in some places and with people getting sick, and I just thinking of each of you as we go through this time. So we're just going to sit on our sits bones here, just kind of rock back and forth a couple times. What I usually do is just try to get everything just kind of stabilized. Feel where I'm at today. See if there's anything bothering me. I just kind of rock back and forth on the sit bones, and when I get them stabilized, I'm just going to hold them there and just kind of move back and forth side to side. This feels really good to me, so I'm just adding on to that as we go. And then stack the shoulders nice and tall right above the hips here. And I want you to feel like you're in a neutral position with your back. So sitting up nice and tall as if you had a pocket of air. We always talk about that when we're laying on the floor, but we can do that as we're sitting up nice and tall too. Hopefully my neck is in line with my spine here. I don't have a mirror beside me to be able to tell, but hopefully that kind of gives you a vision of where we need to be through this. So I just want you to take a deep inhale, and as you do, you're going to open up the rib cage, filling that belly with air. I always say it feels like a balloon. You're expanding the rib cage out as you're inhaling, and then as you're exhaling, you want to bring the rib cage in from the side of the body first. Then pull the belly button in towards the spine and up towards the heart. And just do that a couple more times. Just inhaling and open it all up. And exhale, bring it all back together. And again, inhale. And an exhale. I'm going to do most of the class with no props. At the end, I'm going to pull my roller out for some stretching that I like to do with people on it. If you have one, might be a good time to grab it. Should have said that at the very beginning. We're going to lay on it long ways, so you need one that's probably the 36 inches long. One more, just taking a deep inhale and an exhale. Now let's just take a stretch from side to side. So we're going to bring the right hand down onto the floor. That would be my right hand, that would be my left. And then you're going to reach it up and over. Take a stretch to the side. Just kind of bend that elbow down as you go. And then reach back up. And then we'll come up and over to the other side. Just getting a little side flexion. There. Extending on one side, flexing on the other. Depends on where you feel that. Hopefully from the hip all the way up to the fingertips, feeling a nice stretch through that. Let's do that one more time. And let's just do some arm movement, just reaching the arms up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, just releasing down through that. Inhale, reach it up. Really find length in the spine as you go. And exhale, release. Inhale. And exhale. Let's do that 2 more times. And exhale. last one, you'll reach it up. And as you exhale, come into a goalpost position, taking an inhale here, and then as you exhale, just twist to one side. Maybe just go a little bit further, pull the serratus muscle down right below your shoulder blade, and then come back to the center. Switch to the other side, and back to the center. Just kind of move through that at your own pace. It's getting a little twist in the spine. I like doing this seated with my legs crossed, but you could always do this in a chair or sit up on something if you need to. Keep your legs out in front if that is better for your hips and your knees. And one more to each side. And last one. Reach those arms back up and then just kind of dive forward into that. Give yourself a little stretch. And then roll yourself back up. And I'm going to turn to the side. We're going to come and lay down onto the mat. I'm going to go ahead and take my sweater off here. Getting warmed up now, so. I want you to sit up nice and tall through the spine, roll through the shoulders, and then go ahead and bend your knees. Bring your feet in. I like to just kind of get my feet rearranged so I can kind of see where they are. When I can't walk around and see you guys, can't really adjust you there. I'm going to scoot my hips up a little bit so that I'm on the mat when I get there. And then you're going to roll all the way down onto the mat. Make sure I'm completely in the picture there. Your feet again, sits bones distance apart. Hopefully your feet didn't move a whole lot to do that. And your shoulders relax down. We're going to reach the arms up towards the ceiling, palms face one another. And you're going to take an inhale, reaching the fingertips up, pulling the shoulder blades off the mat. And then as you exhale, I want you just to let the shoulder blades relax back down onto the mat. And inhale, reach up towards the ceiling. And exhale, melt those shoulder blades. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach it up. And an exhale to melt. And one more. And an exhale to melt. Bring those arms out to a T or goalpost position onto the floor. I just want you to drop your knees over to one side for a little twist in that back. And then come back to the center, and then you'll switch to the other side. And again, this is one of those, if you want to just hold it here for a little longer, feel free to do that. If you want to go a little quicker, just going back and forth, that's fine. And then come back to the center. We're going to do that one more time to each side, or I am. If you want to do more or less, that's fine. So find a little stretch there in the spine as you go. And then back to the center, and then switch back to the other side. And come back to the center. Separate those feet again about 6 bones distance apart. Bring your arms just down to the side of the body there. Relax the shoulders into the floor. Relax the arms, palms face down, pressing a little bit into that. So maybe activate the arms a little bit as you do this. Take an inhale, open up through the rib cage. And then as you exhale, that rib cage will come together towards the center of the body. Pull the belly button in towards the spine, up towards the heart. Don't let the shoulders stress there. Mine started doing a little bit more work than they needed to. And again, inhale, open it all up. And exhale. Two more like that. Just inhale, opening up the rib cage. Exhale, bring the rib cage towards the center of the body. Pull the belly button in towards the spine, up towards your heart. Last one. Now we're going to find that little bit of tuck of the pelvis here into an imprinted spine. So in neutral, our hips and our pelvic bone are on the floor in a neutral position, nice and flat with that lower part of the back. And then you've got this lower part of your back here. You have a little pocket of air there. And what you're going to do is get rid of that pocket of air by tucking, lifting the tailbone up towards the ceiling slightly as you lower that lower part of the back into the mat. And then release back out into neutral. And then exhale to tuck. Move my arms here. I don't know if you can see that tuck a little bit more. And then release back out. It's not a big movement. Just a tiny little movement of the pelvis there. And release. Let's do that 2 more times. Really find that rib cage connection as you do that as well. And exhale, tuck into imprint. When you're there, you're going to hold it through an inhale. And then when you're ready, you're going to lift the hips up off the mat. Rounding up through the spine and coming up onto the shoulders. Once you get to the top, take an inhale and articulate the spine back down through the exhale. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, tuck and round it back up. Hold it at the top through the inhale. And exhale, articulate back down through that. Now let's add some arm movement. So you're going to reach the arms up towards the ceiling. And you're going to roll yourself back up into the bridge. And then you're going to let the arms float down behind you on the mat. When you get there, I want you to really find length from your fingertips all the way down to your knees. And then as you articulate the spine back down 1 vertebrae at a time, make sure you come into an imprinted spine first. Be very difficult. You may have to lift your arms a little bit to get there. Come back out into neutral. Now, if your shoulders bother you, feel free to come into goalpost, a T, somewhere where it's comfortable for you. Once you're at the bottom, we're going to reach the arms back up to the ceiling. And exhale, articulate back up. This has become one of my favorite really lengthening moves. And then exhale, articulate back down through the spine. And reach back up to the ceiling. Tuck and round it up. Reach behind you. And roll back down through the spine. And one more. Exhale, roll back down through that. And glue your knees and your feet together and drop your knees over to one side. And then back to the center and go to the other side. And then back to the center. Reach the arms back up towards the ceiling. Relax the shoulders back down. Tuck the chin in. And lift the head, neck, and shoulders up now. And then lower that back down. And exhale, tuck and lift. And inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And inhale, lower. 2 more. And lower. And last one, we're going to lift this up. We're going to hold it at the top. And we're going to bring the right hand and then the left hand behind the head. Hold it there. Find neutral position with your lower back. So in this position here, I don't know if I can't see, I am keeping this neutral. I'm supporting my head with my hands. And I'm finding that connection through the abdominals. And those of you who are with me quite a lot love to know that I just like holding this here because this is just part of the fun part of the exercise. It's just holding this, finding neutral, pulling the shoulder blades back and down. So use that serratus muscle as well. Now we're going to find a little tuck into imprint. So as you exhale, I want you to allow the tailbone to go up towards the ceiling, that lower back to go into the mat. And I find a nice little shake when I do that. And then release back out into neutral nice and slow so you don't let go of the muscles there. You have to stay connected to get you back out. No arching in your back when you get there. Exhale, tuck into imprint. And release back to neutral. If this gets too much on your neck and your shoulders, you can always lay all the way down. Another little trick I found lately is to lift with the mat and let your head kind of be supported into the mat, if that is something you want to try. 2 more. Exhale, tuck into imprint. And release back to neutral. And 1 more, tuck into imprint. And release back to neutral. And then lower that head down there. Relax through that for just a moment. Now we're going to go into a little twist here. So you're going to tuck the chin in, lift the head, neck, and shoulders up. And we're going to bring your knee into tabletop, and I want you to twist towards that knee. So I'd say the knee that's closest to me is the one you want to lift and twist so that you can see this the first time. So you are twisted here. I want you to be in tabletop position, and then you're going to lower that toe down towards the floor through an inhale. As you exhale, really connect those lower abdominals and lift back up. Inhale, lower. Those lower abdominals have to really connect to bring that back up. Those oblique muscles are working. You're taking your rib cage, reaching to your opposite hip. Less about the elbow pulling you over, more about the rib cage twisting. Got 1 more. Come back to the center. Lower the head down, lower the foot down. Switch feet. Bring the other knee up. Lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Now I'm going to twist away from you. And we're going to move that leg. You're just going to hinge and lower that toe. And exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Again, think about your rib cage. Crossing over, reaching towards that hip. Don't let the elbow lead you there. Your hands should be stabilized behind your head heavy into your hands. 2 more. And 1 more. Come back to the center, lower the head down, lower the foot down. Let's just drop the knees to one side and find that twist again, a little stretch. And then back to the center. And other side. And then back to the center. Now bring your arms out to a goalpost or T position, or goalpost would be fine as well, depending on how much space you have there. And we're going to do our supine twist. I'm going to start with my feet on the floor. I like to lift my heels up. Just kind of helps me keep my feet in line. I'm going to drop away from you so you can see that my feet are staying glued together. I want to really connect my abdominal muscles here. So engage that. Pull those transverse abdominis together as well, and then bring the knees back to the center. And then you'll switch to the other side. And I'm just going to progress this. I noticed my knees were coming apart there, so I'm going to readjust that. So what I'm trying to do is keep my hips aligned, my knees aligned, my feet aligned the whole time. So stabilizing that lower part of the back. If you'd like to join me in tabletop position, you will be here. If you are one that needs a large ball underneath your knees and you have one available, feel free to put a ball behind your knees to do this as well. You're going to drop your knees over to one side. In this position, what I have is here, do a little tuck like I'm going into imprint. And then I pull my knees back to the center. And then switch to the other side. And tuck and back to the center. Inhale over. Tuck and lift. Inhale. Tuck and lift. Inhale. And back to the center. Inhale. Let's do one more to each side. Last one. And then pull those knees in. Give yourself a little hug there. Now we're going to lift the head, neck, and shoulders here. So I'm going to kind of go back and forth from some lifting the head and then keeping the head down, just so that it doesn't get so exhausted, tired, putting stress on your shoulders here. Now that's something I need to be careful of today because of the stress that I put my shoulders in this week. Definitely need to be careful. So you're going to tuck the chin in. And as you notice, I didn't really lift my head. I just did a little tilt of the chin. And then I'm going to lift the head, neck, and shoulders up. And I want to be into a nice little ball here. We're going to reach the arms long and then circle those arms back around. And again, inhale to reach and then exhale to circle. We're going to add the leg movement. I'm going to give you a couple options. You can go right into tabletop. You can lengthen the legs up towards the ceiling, or you can come down to about 45 or anywhere in between. And then circle that back in. Inhale to reach. Exhale, circle. I'm just going to go to tabletop this time. Inhale and exhale. Then I'm going to go up to 90. Just to kind of give you that visual of what it looks like, and then to 45. And pull it in. Inhale and circle. Inhale and circle. Inhale and circle it around. Pull those knees in. Lower yourself all the way down onto the mat there. All right, hands are going to be relaxed to the floor here. Bring the right knee to tabletop and then the left. We're going to start hinging at the hips here. So I always say 90 degrees at the knees, 90 at the hips to start. You'll lower the right toe down towards the floor through an inhale. As you exhale, lift that back up. And switch to the other side. If this is a little too much, you can lower one foot on the floor and just do one leg at a time. Do a few on that side, and then you'll switch to the other side. Inhale, lower. And exhale, lift. Inhale. And exhale. Do one more set. And then pull those knees in. Bring the knees into a tabletop position now. I'm just going to hold on to my knees here to start. You're going to lift the head, neck, and shoulders up. You're going to reach the right leg out. And then you're going to switch legs. And I put a little pressure on that knee as it comes in. Make those lower abdominals work a little harder. Exhale and switch. If you need a little support behind your head, hands behind the head. If you need to, you can lower your head down and just do the leg movement. If you're putting that stress on the legs, or on the shoulders, sorry. Get my words, my tongue tangled so often while I'm talking. 2 more. And 1 more. Pull those knees in, lower yourself down, keep those knees at tabletop. Find a place for your hands here. We're going to hinge at the hips again, more of into our leg changes. We're going to lower the right toe down. As it comes back up, you'll switch feet. And switch. As you notice, there should be no change in my knee as I'm lowering down. Doesn't mean I have to tap the floor. Means those lower abdominals have to do the work to lower and to lift. Three. And two. And one more. Pull those knees in. This time we're going to lengthen the legs all the way up towards the ceiling. You're going to tuck the head, neck, and shoulders, lifting that up. And you're going to pull the right leg in, let the left leg go out long. And then let me rearrange just a little bit, and then switch. And do a double kick. Get a nice stretch in the back of the leg. Head can be down if you need a little bit of support there. Two. One more. Pull those knees in, lower yourself down. Give yourself a little breather. Lower the left foot on the floor, lengthen that leg all the way out, lengthen the other leg up towards the ceiling. This would be one where if you had a band, we're going to do our leg circles. You can put your band over top of that foot to support you here, but I am not using prop today, but it doesn't mean you can't add that if you need to. So leg is up towards the ceiling. You may look like this, you may look like this. Find a position that works, depending on your hamstring, if it's tight. If you have popping in your hip, sometimes I do bend my knee, especially on my left leg because my hip pops so much. You're going to cross the leg over the center of the body and then circle it down and around for one breath. And then another breath as you go down. We're going to do 4 and 3, 2 and 1, and then you'll reverse directions. Circle. One more. Hold it there, hold it there. Grab behind your leg. Let's go ahead and find a little circle with the ankle. And then switch directions. Maybe a point and a flex. And then lower that foot to the floor. Lengthen that leg all the way out. Bring the other leg up. Flex through the foot, cross it over the center, circle down and around, and circle. We got one more and then we'll reverse direction. So you'll open, circle down and around for 6, and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it at the top, grab behind that leg, circle through that foot. And then switch directions. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for spring weather. Definitely been a little chillier outside this week. All right, hands behind your knees, and then I want you to rock it up to a seated position. If that is not comfortable for you, feel free just to kind of come up into a position that works for you. We're going to go into some twists here. So I want you to take your feet about the width of the mat, or maybe just a little less than the width of the mat in front of you. And again, if you need a little boost, you can always use your mat. Fold it up, lift it, and sit on it. This first one, I'd like the legs to be out in front of us as much as possible. I don't know if you can see, if I turn this direction, you may be able to see kind of that direction. Your arms are going to go out in the front, and then you're going to tuck the chin in, peel off an imaginary wall, keeping that lower back on that imaginary wall as much as you can until you can't go any further. Then allow that to hinge over the hips. And then we're going to grab the shins, the ankles, the feet, and going to pull forward just a little bit. Wow, I can tell I'm much tighter today than I was the other day. And you may be here, and that just is showing you how tight you are. Some of it is, my hamstrings normally don't get tight, but they're definitely a little tighter today than normal. And then what I want you to do is flatten your back here. So you're going to be hinged over and lengthening through the spine. Keep your neck in line with your spine. I tend to look over to see my form, and my neck goes out of line. So I'm just trying to help you guys the best that I can to make sure that my alignment is good. Now, you may be really still rounded here. If you are, sit up a little higher and lengthen the back. So that might be helpful. You may be almost seated in this position. As we get older, our tendency is to get that nice curvature. Not that it's nice, it's really not. And that upper back. So these muscles in the front are tight. Those back muscles need to be lengthened. So we want to get into this position and then hinge over as far as we can. And this in itself should be a lot of work for you. Now, as you're here, I just want you to dive back over, let the head, the neck, and the shoulders relax back down. Maybe pull yourself a little bit forward, a little bit more. Then reach the arms out long, and then stack the spine back up to seated position. We're going to go into a twist here. So I want you to reach the arms up towards the ceiling. And then twist towards me, so one arm is behind you, the other arm in the front. And then reach back up to the ceiling, and you'll go the other direction. Reach it back up. Lower the arms straight in front of you, tuck the chin in, peel off that imaginary wall. If you'd like, you can always go up against the wall and feel yourself coming off of it. Sometimes that feels good for me. And again, kind of pull yourself forward. Definitely work on my stretching today. Hands onto the legs, lengthen out through the spine. Woo! Reach those arms forward again, dive over into that. Pull yourself a little further. Reach your arms back up beside the ears, and then stack the spine back up. Reach the arms up towards the ceiling and find that twist. And center, and twist, and center. Lower the arms. We're going to do that one more time. Tuck the chin in, roll through the spine, reaching it forward. Grab a hold of those feet, legs, shins, wherever you need to. Diving forward into that. Hopefully this feels really good. Then you're going to bring your hands on to your legs, shins, somewhere. Flatten that back up, out. And then dive back into that. Reach the arms along beside the ears and roll yourself back up. Reach up towards the ceiling. Find that twist. And reach. And twist to the other side. Reach back up. And then release those arms down to the side. Now we're going to twist. I'm going to turn towards towards you guys so you can see me in this position. I'm actually going to stay in a crisscross applesauce position today. Again, you can sit on a chair, up, boost it up. You can fold your mat up a little higher if you need to. But I really want to concentrate on our serratus. For those of you who work with me on a regular basis, our serratus muscle is right underneath the shoulder blade here. Wraps around the front. And really, I find that connection to be really important for me to take stress off my neck and my shoulders. So that is why I constantly am talking about that when I'm doing chest lifts. Most anything that I do, I am trying to find that serratus muscle and get those lats really engaged in my back to make my back muscles work correctly. So we're going to bring our arms up to a goal post today. We're going to take an inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to twist to one side. I'm twisting to my left, so I'm going to think about my left serratus. Let me turn a little bit to the side, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that serratus down, and as you can see, my arm lowers just a little bit when I do that. Totally engaged right now. Lovely burning feeling that I've got. And then a little release. And then pull that back down. And release. And pull. And release. I know when I'm usually with you guys, I like to walk around the room and have you guys really focus on that and make sure that you're finding it. Hopefully you can do that on your own. If you haven't never worked with me before, that is the muscle that I am constantly trying to engage. It has taken so much stress off my neck and my shoulders when I'm doing exercises. I use this in almost any exercise I try to do. And one more. And hopefully right now you're burning and you're saying, are we ever going to come out of this? We will. I just want you to twist just a little bit further, engage that a little bit more, then come back to the center. And then we'll switch to the other side. Twist over. Pull that serratus muscle down, and then a little release. And pull. And you're really wringing out at the waist here. Try not to let that opposite arm do any movement. 3 more. And 2. And 1 more. And then come back to the center. Reach those arms up and take a dive forward. If you guys just heard some fun loud noises, yes, my children are home. That was my adult child, who is almost 20 years old. He was dying to get into this room and work out, and I'm not joking. He keeps asking me when I'm going to teach him. So that will be my plan this afternoon, is to work with my 20-year-old. Doing some exercises, getting him in shape. I think he's getting to the point where he realizes he's sitting around a whole lot more than he normally does at college. So relax through those shoulders. Hopefully you felt that muscle. Now we're going to move through it a little bit quicker. You can have your arms here. You can reach your arms long. Find what works. If your arms are long, you're going to twist into that. And the back arm is going to just go behind you. Your front arm is in front. Do not let this arm come across. Find that serratus muscle. And then come back to the center. And switch to the other side. And back to the center. So I'm going to do this with goalposts now. Might be a little easier on your shoulders. I know it is for mine. So who knows what we'll pull out today. We might do a little TRX, a little reformer. It is nice having this equipment in my house. And the good thing is that I'm getting some quality time with my kids while I do it. Things that I wouldn't normally have done this time of year with my adult child. All right, stack that back up, and we're going to go into some leg work here. Got to watch my time a little bit because I do want to pull the roller out if you've got one. You're going to lay all the way down, and we're going to do some clamshells here today. So you'll bend your knees in, and then I just want you to open that hip, keeping your feet on the floor, but I want your feet to stay glued together as you do this. I always think of my hips being stacked. What I don't want to do is drop my hip back behind me while I'm doing this. And then lower. And you can lower your head all the way down. When I'm teaching, a lot of times I lift up because I want to be able to see what's going on. And even here while I'm doing this, I want to make sure, hopefully you guys can see everything in the video. 2 more. And 1 more. Now you're going to lift the feet up and do that same thing. And I always say try to start on your hard side first. This is definitely my hard side, so I tend to always lay this direction the first time. 2 more. And last one. Now we're going to open that back up and then lengthen that foot. Bring the toes back together and close. So you'll open and lengthen, toes together and close. Three more. Hopefully you're feeling a nice little burn in there in your hip. And I think I just counted right because this is our last one. For those of you who know me, I love my counting is not always the best. So we're going to bring those knees more into 90 degrees. So hopefully you can see that my knees and my hips are pretty much 90 degrees here. And then you're going to straighten the top leg out so your knees are stacked on top of each other. What I want you to do is bring that foot towards your head and then just back over your knee and forward and back. If it didn't burn before, hopefully you're feeling this at this point. 3, 2, and 1. Then you're going to lift and lower for 6. Lift, keep the foot flexed here. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Maybe aim the heel towards the ceiling a little bit more, and your toe towards the floor will be a little bit different than that turnout position. 1 more. Then we're going to do a combo. Forward, back, lift, and lower. Forward, back, lift, and lower. 2. Good thing I started on this side. Last one. Oh, lovely, lovely. Little stretch in that hip now. So go ahead and turn onto your back. Do a figure 4 stretch. So you'll take that leg that was on top, cross it over, pull that knee in. Give yourself a little stretch. All right, and then you'll take that out and we'll go to the other side. Laying it all the way down, and then you'll open and close. One more. Then you'll lift your feet up and same thing. Open and close. My other side's still burning. Now add that lengthening. So you'll open and lengthen, toes together and close. Open and lengthen. And as I always say here, your rib cage connection should be working at all times. As you're exhaling, pull that rib cage together. 3 more. And 2. And last one. And then lower that all the way down. Bring those knees into a 90 degrees. Top leg goes out. Flex through that foot. Forward towards your head and then back. And forward. And back. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then lift towards the ceiling and lower. And again, heel up, toe down a little bit maybe. 3, 2, and 1. Then you're going to come forward, back, lift, and lower. Forward, back, lift, and lower. Is it heavy yet? Because it is for me. You got 1 more. You got this. And lower that down. Ooh, lovely little hip movement. Little shake. Pull that knee in. Give yourself a little stretch. over onto our bellies. I'm going to do a little bit of a back extension here. I'm going to start with just some basic back extension, and then I'm going to add the roller with this. If you have one, you can add the roller, because I do want to add that today. So I want you just to look down at the floor, and we're going to bring one hand under the head, and then the other one is going to cross over top of it, and then our forehead is going to be on your hand. And from here, I want you to tuck the tailbone down towards your heels, those legs nice and long. And you're going to take an inhale and lift your chest up off the floor, and exhale, lower. Inhale to lift, and exhale to lower. And you can continue doing that, or you're going to grab the roller here, and then you're going to reach it out in front of you. You're first going to engage the shoulder blades, pulling that down. And then as you inhale, you're going to lift up and just let that roller come in. And then exhale, lower back down. And inhale, lift. And an exhale to lower. Inhale, lift. And an exhale to lower. Let's do 3 more like that. And 2. And last one. And lower that all the way back down. All right, so let's just do some back care laying on this today. So I'm going to turn it on to the side so that you can see me. And we're going to sit on it. And I always say sit on the edge very precariously. If you have a roller, you do not have to do this up on a roller. You can always do this on the floor. I like this because you're 6 inches up off the mat, and it kind of opens up the chest more, allows those shoulders to be down. Your feet need to be in a position to keep you balanced here on the roller. I like to roll back and forth on this. If you ever want to try a roller, mine is really soft. I've got the really soft one. I just got it on Amazon through OPTP. But you can also get these at Walmart. Just make sure you get a long one that you can lay on. I just think they're more versatile than the smaller ones. Let's just start kind of like we did at the beginning with wrapping the shoulders now around this roller as we do this. So you're going to take an inhale and reach up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, I want you just to let the shoulder blades roll back and down and around. And sometimes I even let my elbows come all the way to the floor. Let those shoulder blades just relax down into this. And then reach back up. And I always say, do this at your own pace. Find what feels comfortable. Find where you need the work today. I think I have 3 different rollers. And so I use the harder ones kind of on my quads and my hamstrings, rolling through them. But something like this where my spine is on this, I do like the soft one better. And I haven't found one, this is the only one I've found that is this soft and really helpful with my spine. Let's do that 2 more times. And last one. Now I want you to reach it back up to the ceiling. We're going to go into a scissor. So I'm going to take my left hand down by my hip, my right arm up above my head. I'm going to move myself down a little bit more into the picture. And then reach the arm up and then switch to the other side. And I'm holding this first one here, and then I'm just going to kind of flow through this several times. It just depends on what you need here, whether you want to hold the stretch or if you want to just start moving the arms through that. So find what works. I always say if you have a Bosu, you can always kind of sit in front of the Bosu and lay your back over the Bosu to do this. Maybe a little ball. I have I think they're 8-inch balls, 9-inch balls that are soft that I kind of lay over, let my head just fall to the floor because you're arched over your back, and do this movement as well. A pillow would work. The whole idea is to get the chest muscles, those pecs opened up, stretched out. I find myself really tight up near the shoulders, but all still in that same kind of area. Now bring the arms back up and bring your arms out to a goalpost position. Your arms are close to the floor. You may be here, you may be here, you may be all the way down onto the mat. Today it's really tight. Sometimes I can get my arms all the way down without too much trouble. I've already done this morning, so this morning I probably started about right here because I was so tight. So find what works for you. Your arms may need to be out more to a T position, down to the hips. Find the stretch that works for you. Actually, when I go down there, I feel like I'm stretching a little bit deeper. So the whole idea here is just to open up through the center of your body, letting those arms float to the floor. You've got that extra 6 inches behind you to do that. So that's why I like doing it up on the roller. But you could sit up and do this position too and pull your arms back. So this one I do want you to kind of, the set standard of what I normally do and kind of explain is goalpost position, and then trying to keep the arms as close to the floor as I can, and then reach both arms back behind me onto the mat. And as you can see, my fingertips are on the floor, but they may not. They don't have to be. And then bend the elbows and bring it back to that goalpost that works for you, and even pull down a little bit. And then reach that back up. And then bend back into that. Do that a couple more times. One more. And on that last one, just find a comfortable place to let the arms just relax down onto the mat there. And just take a couple of deep breaths in and out as you do this. Sometimes this is kind of the hardest thing to do, is just take that deep breath in and exhaling and relaxing everything down. I may just do a short video of some of these movements, so look out for that. I'm going to try to do another video with just some stretching movements. And I'll probably try to incorporate the roller, but also do this without the roller so that everybody can join in. I think I could lay here all day long and let this just kind of relax down. All right, so we're going to gracefully come off of here. I say that a lot to you guys. So I just drop my hip down. I roll through that, and I'm actually going to turn mine to the other side. I'm going to bring it underneath my hips. I'm going to lift my hips up. I'm going to bring my knees up to tabletop position. If this is not comfortable, you can keep one foot down. And I just want you to drop over to one side and just get a little stretch in the back. But maybe a little bit of hip and a pressure points in those hips. And then switch to the other side. And back to the center. And just kind of move back and forth on that however it feels comfortable. I feel like it gives me a little massage in my lower back and my hips, my glute beads. One more. All right, and then we're just going to kind of come up and off of that. Roll that away, and I'm going to rock myself back up to seated position. Maybe come just a little bit closer to you guys. Oh, maybe not that close. All right, roll through those shoulders. Hands are going to be on the knees. I want you to come forward into that. And then I want you to circle your body around to the side. And then just round through that. Just making a circle through the waist. I always think in this position, it's more of that cat stretch. And when you come to the front, it's more of that cow stretch where you're arching in the back a little bit. I love this movement. In honor of my friend Judy, we call it the Judy move because she loves it. She will request it every time. Hopefully she's joining us at some point. Hi Judy, if you're out there. One more. So I'm going to start naming all my exercises according to who likes them the most. Some would have several names though. And then we're going the opposite direction this time. I'm so glad you guys joined me today. It's so good to hear from each of you that have texted me or emailed me and just said they appreciate me doing this. Because I feel like this is just a way that I feel really supported by you guys. I'm feeling loved during this time when it can be really lonely. I love being with you guys all during the week, and my weeks are very different now. I mean, I love my family and all, but it's just a very different time of life. Now we're going to come back to the center, and then we're going to reach one arm up, and then twist into that, bring that arm to the floor, and reach back up over the ear, and then come out, and then we'll switch to the other side. And twist. And out. For those of you who are still working, especially those who are on the front lines of this, I hope you guys are staying safe and doing well. Let's do one more to each side. And then take one more inhale up and an exhale, release through that. Thank you guys for coming again, joining me. Hopefully soon we'll be back together face to face. I miss you guys so much, and just look forward to each time that we come together, even through the virtual videos that I'm doing. And just thank you guys so much for all your support and your encouraging words that I've had. And just hope you guys are staying well and doing well as well. Hopefully I can do another one of these soon. Again, I was talking earlier that I'd like to do one with stretching, so look forward to that. I'm going to try to do one with the roller, but also give you some options without any equipment, because I know some of you have nothing at your homes for this. So just keep looking for more videos that I post, and look forward to seeing you and talking to you soon. Have a great day.